Hi, I'm Nicola Humber, and I want to talk to you today about the secret deep down fear that is stopping you from creating the life and the business that you desire right now. So, for myself, for a long time, when I started my own business, I spent a lot of time working through my money stuff. And I thought it was my money stuff that was holding me back in my business and preventing me from creating the income that I truly desired. So I worked tirelessly to shift all of those old stories and limiting beliefs and patterns I had around money and my ability to create it in my life. And then I moved on to sharing that work with my clients. And, we saw some really powerful results. I did personally, and so did my clients. But what I've realized over the past kind of year or so is that it isn't just or even mostly about money, because for myself, when I started my own business, what I really wanted was freedom. That's what I craved. And I thought if I make a certain amount of money, then that will give me the freedom I desire. So, I was going for the money because I wanted the freedom. And I know it's the same for, most, if not all of my clients. It's probably the same for you as well. But the thing is, when we're growing up, we're not taught how to be free. We're not taught how to create freedom, how to be these amazing unbound women. We are not taught that. We're not encouraged to do that. From the moment we're born, we start to kind of pick up all of these kind of either conscious or unconscious commands about how we should be in the world. And how we should be in the world is certainly not free. That's what's communicated to us. So we kind of begin this process of wrapping ourselves almost in this kind of ball of twine, and this ball of twine gets bigger and bigger, and we're wrapping ourselves up in it and becoming more and more restricted the older we get. So we say we want freedom, of course we do. Everyone wants freedom, but deep down, a big part of us wants to say safely wrapped up in that ball of twine, because when we're bound in that way, when we're restricted in that way, it can feel pretty safe and comfortable. Okay, you might have the discomfort of being restricted, but also, it's a great excuse, because when you're bound, you can't do anything apart from do what you've always done, think what you've always thought, and look to other people for the answers. It's like, well, I can't really do a lot. I'm restricted. So, I'm just going to look outside for the answers. So it can feel like a really safe place to be. And it really gets in the way of our attempts to create the freedom that we think we desire, that we've been telling ourselves we desire. Because it just feels too big to be free. It feels too much. How often have you ever kind of held back because you felt, this might be too much? And it's because of that, all of those ties that are binding you. It can feel too expansive. All of those choices you'd have to make if you actually were free, if you allowed yourself to be free. What would you have to let go of? Who will you have to become in order to be free? I call it the unbound woman. And, this is what my work has focused on the past, certainly couple of years, helping women to be their fullest, most brilliant unbound selves. And that's not easy, because there are all these fears and doubts around becoming free. So this is most likely a reason why you're not quite creating what you want in your life and your business. It's a key piece. And how I see it manifesting is either, women doing loads and loads of work on their money stuff, but not creating the shifts or the results that they want. So they've done lots and lots of work, and you've probably done lots of work on your money stuff. And are you actually creating the income that you desire? Are you satisfied with the income you desire? What I see is a lot of women aren't, even though they've done all this work, which feels really unfair and frustrating, I know. The other way I see it manifesting is, women who are creating a lot of success financially in their businesses, and they're making great money, but they're still not happy because they still don't feel free. They're not allowing themselves to have the freedom. They're not allowing themselves to be free and they're doing things in a way that isn't sustainable, and they're feeling burnt out and exhausted and like, well, what is the point of this? So there's two different ways that this fear of freedom can manifest, and I wonder how it's showing up for you right now. So in order to move past this, I just want to encourage you to explore some questions today, because when we ask questions, our subconscious will automatically go looking for an answer. In the work that I do, I'm a hypnotherapist and a coach. I do a lot of work with the subconscious mind and kind of accessing and clearing these blocks. And asking questions is a really powerful way to do that. So some simple, seemingly simple questions for you. One, what would it look like for me if I was truly free? What would my life and my business look like? Okay. They're not simple questions, I know. Two, what are the choices that I would have to make right now if I committed to being my fullest, most brilliant, unbound self? If I committed to being truly free? Three, what would I need to let go of in order to do that? And four, who would I need to be in order to be truly free, to be my most brilliant, unbound self? And when I ask that question, it's not about being like someone else. It's about being the fullest you, the being as you can possibly be. What does that look like? What would that feel like? And it takes some time to ask yourself these questions. You can do it in meditation. You can do it whilst you're journaling. And as you're asking yourself and you're noticing what comes up for you, also pay attention to how you're feeling, kind of emotionally and also physically, because your body will give you clues as to what's going on with you and if there are fears and doubts and kind of constrictions around this. In my experience, it's very likely there will be. In my experience, many of us, we feel this deep down in our bellies, in our womb spaces, because particularly as women, we have not been encouraged to be our freest selves, and not just in this lifetime, but in many lifetimes that we've experienced before. So that's my invitation to you, just explore these questions. And if what I've talked about today has resonated, then please do get in touch. You can send me a message, and we can arrange a time to have a chat, or we can explore it. I don't know what that is. Just through Facebook Messenger. But yeah, let's start exploring these fears around freedom and allow ourselves to be our fullest, most brilliant, unbound selves. I'll speak to you soon.